nostalgic.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wax Nostalgic, a podcast where we turn the clock back on the good old days. I'm your co-host, Graham Gumshoe Johnstone.
I'm Sammy Disco Savage.
And I'm Ryan Does Puns a Lot Kerwin.
And today we're going to bring you a little bit of a spooky episode. In light of the spooky season, we're going to talk about some stuff that will keep you on the edge of your seat, keep your hair standing on end, and whatnot.
And once again, if you're driving, these will happen to you still, so be ready.
Yeah, all of these things.
Yep.
So if you're driving, pull the fuck over.
I would suggest pulling over, because the shit's about to
Or
get
just move your
real.
seat back further so that when you're on the edge of it, you're in your normal position so that you're comfortable while driving. Yes.
That's
Smart.
really
I didn't
smart,
even think about
actually.
that.
Dang.
Think outside the box here.
You are an engineer.
A revolutionary.
Software.
I love how you keep saying that. Software only, guys. Software only.
I'm not like a smart guy.
You're a smart guy. You just have
thank you.
computer assistants.
That's right.
Great. Yeah. So first and foremost, we're gonna start talking about some spooky movies, scary movies in the spooky season.
That's me being
light.
scared.
So,
Spook season.
who wants to go first? Anyone have anything specific on their mind?
I can talk about something,
Yeah.
Sure.
Great.
if you'd like.
Perfect.
I remember. All right, so I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about a movie that's not necessarily. I mean, it's not. It's all right. So overall, it's not necessarily like a scary movie.
Sure.
But as a kid,
Yeah.
it was kind of a scary movie.
Yeah.
But I also loved it.
Has horror ties.
Yeah. So it's called They Live.
Okay.
Oh, I know of this, but I haven't seen it.
John Carpenter movie.
Yeah.
1988. I think it was 1988, 80s sometime. And it has Rod Pipe, like the wrestler or whatever, Roddy Rod Piper. It's
Okay.
like, he's the main character.
Hell yeah.
And so the premise is he is like a construction worker. And he's like down on his luck and society's fucking him over. And he's like, can't get ahead. And he's like, just like disgruntled kind of with like everything. And then, I don't remember exactly how, but somehow he stumbles upon these glasses.
Okay.
And then he puts on these glasses, and all of a sudden he sees these like, it opens his mind to like, he looks at a billboard and it's like an ad for like shampoo, and then he puts the glasses on and it says obey. Right. And like,
oh man.
And then
did he find them on top of a church hidden in the wall, and he was also Nicolas Cage?
No.
Is that a Nicolas Cage
National
movie?
Treasure. He finds the glasses of the different things. Anyway, sorry, that was a way pull from left field, but that's what it made me think of.
That's probably where they got the idea.
That's where Nick Cage got the idea. Yeah, because he wrote National Treasure.
So what was kind of scary about it was that then like you walk around town and there's like normal people, like little, like, Mrs. So-and-so is walking her dog, and then he put the glasses on, and Mrs. So-and-so was like this skull face, like scary ass
zombie.
And there was like,
things.
and then like you look around, there's skull face people everywhere.
Right.
They're like integrated in with like normal society.
Yeah.
So, and then he tries to get his friend to put on the glasses, and they have like this infamous, like, it's literally like 10 minutes of a knockdown brawl.
Oh.
And the guy, it's like the like fightiest fight scene.
Yeah.
Ever.
Wait, okay.
Is it like an adult movie? It's
it's an R-rated film.
R-rated.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait,
Cool.
this is also the movie, and you probably were about to say this, but I'm going to scoop you. This is where that famous ad-libbed line, "I'm here to kick ass and chew bubblegum, and I'm all out of bubblegum."
That's from that movie.
That's from that movie.
Oh shit!
It is.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's like right. It's like the famous like meme line or whatever that like
Wow, I did not know that that's what that was.
Which
from.
is also. Do you remember Duke Nukem?
Yep. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's also from that.
No, they put that
took it
line
from-
into Duke
Oh,
Nukem.
Sorry,
okay. I was
they,
like,
not he. He's not
what?
the guy.
This is like a hugely influential movie that I have
It
no
actually
idea
kind of
about.
is. Like you should
I've
watch
never
it.
watched it, but my old roommate, it was like his favorite movie. So like he would show me clips and like
So what was weird about it is, so this is weird. So it was on. Remember how on one of our previous episodes, I was talking about how that I would watch these like edited movies on like Saturday afternoons on like Channel 20 or whatever.
Yeah.
That was one of them that was always on there.
Oh.
Yeah.
And so, which it's funny because my mom let me watch it.
Nice. Cool.
I'm like,
Hell yeah.
I like this movie, even though it's scary, whatever. It
We've
scares me.
established that she was a nice lady.
Yeah,
That's right, yeah.
But it's funny because, it's like an R-rated movie and it's very
Right.
like adult, not kids at all, not kid themed. There's like swearing, but it's all edited out and stuff.
Sure.
Right.
But
Still
but
R-rated
she
movie.
like was
Right.
okay with me watching this movie, and I would like. I remember every time it come on, I was like, man, I was like
Yeah.
so fascinated with the movie, even
Nice.
though like the visuals of these like scary people like scared the crap out of me.
I've seen those pictures. Yeah, they're creepy looking.
It's creepy.
Yeah.
Sorry
So-
for anyone who's watching videos. I'm like thinking about the scary movie topic right now, and my brain keeps like ticking to other things, and I'm trying to decide what I'm talking. So I'm making weird faces at Graham, but it's not about what he's talking about. Anyway.
Could you just make sure to like accompany them with weird thinking noises so that our audio?
I literally in the past like 2 minutes have been like, oh maybe. Oh, man. I think I know. But anyway, carry on. Sorry,
I know. and
sorry to interrupt
I
you.
feel
That
like
was
I
rude.
kind of like this isn't necessarily like a Halloween movie, but it's just I remember as a kid I was like scared of like it's kind of scared me, and then I'm thinking like well, what if like these people really are around us, and and I was like I need to get these glasses to like
Yeah.
make sure that.
Where do I get them?
So then like the famous knockdown brawl fight, the infamous thing, and it's like it's talked about as like it's even like kind of. I've seen people break it down from a cinematic like they're like it's actually a genius scene and this is
cool.
why like these PhD like cinema people will be like this is why this scene is so great. And so anyway they beat the shit out of each other, and then the guy finally gets him to put the glasses on, and so then he's like oh crap, you're right, like because it's
I
like
fought
it's
so hard to
it's-
not wear these, and it turns
it's
out
almost kind of
you had
like a
reason.
Matrix-y kind of thing where like once you put the glasses on you can't unsee it.
Oh,
yeah.
And
okay.
so
So,
I think-
once you've worn them, you take them off and you still see the other
No,
stuff?
it's
or-
more of like your mind has been open to the reality, and you
Gotcha.
can't go. It's like once you take the pill in the Matrix, you can't
untake it. Yeah,
right because
gotcha.
you're how you perceive reality is forever broken.
Yeah.
Right, you can't keep eating Soylent Green once you know it's people.
Is that a
So-
Snowpiercer reference?
Soylent Green? No, it was an old movie. I've never actually seen it, but it's
Oh.
like very referenced all the time. But
I think-
have you heard of this?
I've
I
heard
know
of it.
what it is. For some
Okay.
reason, I thought it was a Snowpiercer reference, but I know that it's
No.
from something.
Yeah, so it was like a movie, and it's like some kind of dystopian future society,
Yeah.
and everyone eats this thing called Soylent Green, and then the protagonist.
What
I
is that? I
suppose-
know exactly what you're talking about, but I can't think of what it's from.
I think it's just an old movie, like
Okay.
from the 60s or 70s or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the big
was
reveal
it?
at the end is Soylent Green is people. So like they're eating each other because
Was that like what was the name of that TV show, The Twilight Zone or something? Could that be?
Oh, it could be. I feel like it was its own thing, but maybe
Okay.
it was a Twilight Zone thing.
Soylent Green was its own movie.
Okay.
It's
Oh,
called
damn.
Soylent
What-
Green.
what year?
1973.
Okay,
Sci-fi
yeah.
thriller.
Yeah, and then of course, if you guys ever watched Futurama, they had a direct takeoff on that with Slurm.
Really?
Yeah, it's like the drink that is actually like from these big space bugs.
Yeah,
like
it's just made of bugs. It's
Yeah.
like bug poop or whatever.
exactly, yeah.
Yeah. Snowpiercer has something similar where I don't know if you've seen that movie, but they
I have, but I
they
don't remember this
like
part.
live on this train that's always moving,
Yeah.
and it's actually like bugs that they're eating. It's like they
okay.
have these little like protein bars, but it's actually like bugs.
Gotcha. Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Have you ever eaten bugs?
I think I've tried some,
Yeah, I
like
tried it.
some
I have.
ants and maybe
Yeah.
a cricket or something, but
Yeah.
not like.
I don't see the appeal.
Well, I don't think it's supposed to be necessarily appealing.
They were yeah, but the
Some people
ones I
like
tried,
it.
ones I tried, they were like ranch flavored and like
yeah, the ones
I'm
I had
like,
were salt and vinegar.
what do you come on like
flaming hot crickets.
exactly like guys, you can't polish. I mean, you can polish a turd, but
right, but don't eat it.
it
yeah.
still tastes like a turd.
right.
I mean,
Again, sorry
basically.
to cut you off.
Oh yeah. Oh boy. So many
Keep doing
tangents.
this, but
okay.
yeah.
No. So, yeah, the whole movie has like this meta kind of like what is it? It's kind of like 1984 thing. It has like
Commentary or
meta
Yeah.
commentary on society and how
Yeah.
like we're all blinded by whatever like like entities like governments and
Consumerism,
right or
yeah,
like corporations that try to
The
control
man.
us kind of thing. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
So and then at the end, well, spoiler alert for anybody who hasn't
That's
seen
I'm
it.
gonna
We've had-
watch it.
we've had
I'm
views,
gonna
yeah.
try to find
Considering
it soon,
it's
but
like
Yeah.
You can spoil
like
it.
40 years old or
I
something.
missed the bus.
Yeah.
I think they find like so there's these. So I guess they're like aliens. It's like an alien race, and they're like Kind of like how people like there's lizard people here.
Oh yeah.
You know, like
at
that.
DIA. Yeah.
Yeah, that whole like conspiracy thing. Like, so it's like these people are like they're aliens here and they're like controlling us. And
Yeah.
I don't remember what the purpose of. I'm assuming they're taking some resources or something because that's kind of like what always happens. But
Yeah.
I think they end up finding like the base, the like alien base thing, and they like go fight with the aliens and stuff. So. Cool. Anyway, it's a cool movie.
I'm gonna check
it's
it out.
It's a little action.
They Are Alive.
They Live.
They Live.
Yeah.
Okay.
I should
I'm
also watch it. You want to do a movie night sometime?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Rod Piper, man. Rod Piper. I'm pretty sure that's who it was.
That sounds
Cool.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely am gonna watch it soon. So thanks for fucking spoiling it, Joe. God.
Well, I didn't tell you how it ends, did I?
No, you didn't. And also,
specifically.
like I said, I missed the bus. It's
It's like
too
40 years
little, too late, bro.
There is a statute of limitations on spoilers, I feel.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Awesome. Cool. Is that it for you?
I think so. Yeah.
Great.
Cool.
You want to go next? You want me to go next?
I can go next.
Cool.
It's funny because I honestly was struggling to think about what I should talk about, and then the thing that we just said about spoilers popped into my head. Sixth Sense.
Oh,
All right.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, I mean that's like the ultimate spoiler movie. So
Right, exactly. So
if you
let's
haven't
spoil it
seen
for
it,
everyone.
too
Dude,
bad.
Yeah, turn
That-
it off now if you haven't seen
That movie. I mean, this is why it was so good, but
Yeah.
I didn't see it coming.
it. Right.
I
no.
gotta say.
Yeah. No, for
Nobody
sure.
did. Like,
Brilliantly made.
yeah.
Yeah.
Call back to our previous episode, but I watched it at a sleepover with my friend William, who I used to do a lot of sleepovers with. And I never really was into horror things when I was little. Like,
Yeah.
there were some TV shows, like, I never read the Goosebumps books, because for some reason, like, reading a scary book is still, for me, harder than, like, watching a scary movie.
I get that.
Yeah.
I get that.
But, like, I watched, there was, like, a Goosebumps TV show, which was pretty fun.
It uses,
remember that
it
one.
makes your
Yeah.
imagination do all the work, where it's like
Right.
they can only do
Right.
so. I mean, now with technology, they can do way more.
Yeah, that's
but
true.
like for a long time, scary stuff was less scary. That's why there's all these corny movies because
Right.
they can only do so much,
Yeah.
but your
Yeah.
brain can do whatever it wants.
For sure, yeah. Like, you're reading, and you're
Well,
in
like-
the story, and, like, the things that are happening around you. And you're
Well, I don't know if you guys ever have read like a scary book and then you put it down and you're like you hear a noise in the house.
Yeah,
and you're like, oh
100%.
shit! Like, and honestly, for me, that's scary. Reading a scary book is scarier than watching a scary movie. For that,
Yes.
like,
I
kind of stuff.
100% agree.
Yeah.
I'm a huge Stephen King fan, like a
Yeah.
Stephen King super nerd. Like,
Yeah.
read almost every book that he's ever written at this point, which
Wow.
is pretty.
That's-
Yeah,
He's a
pretty- it's-
prolific author. So
I have
lot of
I have
books,
a
man.
huge checklist. It's on my phone, and it's like 80% checked off with the books that
Wow,
I've read.
yeah.
Anyway,
I watched The Mist the other night.
yeah, the
But
Mist
it's
is
based on a novella.
yeah, it's part of a series.
Yeah, okay.
It's, and that one was pretty interesting because I haven't actually seen the movie, but the book was. It's like all in a grocery store.
Yeah.
The whole thing is inside of a
Yeah.
grocery store.
Cool.
But sorry to tangent.
No,
but
that's fine.
Salem's Lot. I read when I was fairly young. It's
Yeah.
still one of my favorite books ever.
Sounds like a witchy one.
It's vampires.
Vampires, okay.
Yeah, it's vampires. And I read it when I was probably, I don't know, like high school.
Yeah.
Something like that. But I've read it a couple of times since then, and it like gives me nightmares. Like
yeah.
it is
Really?
scary. Like
Oh.
it's
Yeah.
there's a couple other even more scary ones, but that one for whatever
There's a reason.
always gets
There's
me.
a
Like,
reason he's like the number one like horror author of
yeah.
all time because he like actually makes scary.
He
for sure.
taps into something, and it's funny because I think he sometimes gets a little bit dismissed because he publishes so much. It's just like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like pulp fiction, whatever. It's just like a dime
Yeah.
a dozen. But he really does have like his fingers on the pulse of what thrills us and scares us. and
Absolutely.
everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Sorry to tangent.
No,
on
that's
that.
fine.
Yeah,
No,
I could do a whole segment on Stephen King.
Yeah, we should at some
just
point,
that,
yeah.
'cause
Yeah,
I'm a super Stephen King.
Yeah,
but
no, I love everything of his that I've read, which is nowhere near as much as you, it sounds like. But yeah, anyway, back onto the main topic. Goosebumps. My brother used to collect the books because he liked the covers, but I think he was also too scared to read them, so we just like had this whole collection of Goosebumps books that
That's
neither
actually
of us
really
read.
funny.
that's pretty awesome.
Wait, weren't the Goosebump cover? Didn't they like
They had like
like
texture.
yeah
Yeah.
on
Oh,
them.
yeah.
all the textures like stood
Yeah.
out and stuff.
Oh
That's
no,
what was
they were
cool
really
about
good, and the
them.
pictures, the
Yeah.
art was really good.
Always
Yeah.
super bright colors.
Yeah.
Yeah,
borders
very
with,
90s.
like, a
Yeah,
dark.
but
like,
R.L. Stine as well. Like he prolifically, he was publishing like a few of those books a year.
Talk about Pulp Fiction.
Right, exactly.
they were short.
Yeah, for sure.
But
They were for
still,
kids.
Yeah.
like
But it was like- it was
mountains
good
of
still.
content.
Yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
But yes, they had the TV show when I watched. There's another show that I kind of consider similar to that, which was Are You Afraid of the Dark? Do you
I
guys
remember that one. Yes, I do.
Vaguely.
Yeah, it was like
I think so.
it was always kids at a campfire telling each other stories, and like
Yeah.
the stories were like fully produced, separate little.
That's newer because it was based on the book.
That was,
it was
mid to late 90s, I think.
Oh, okay.
It was late 90s, early 2000s.
Then I'm thinking
Yeah.
of something different. I'm
Okay.
thinking of Stories You Tell in the Dark, the one I talked about in our
Oh,
last
yeah,
camping
yeah, that's
episode.
right. Yeah.
Yep.
That's what I was thinking of. So
Right.
they did make a show
Yeah.
for that too.
Okay,
Right.
yeah. But yeah, Are You Afraid of the Dark? And there were some in there that were like, a lot of them were just kind of like goofy, you know, haha fun. There were some that were like actually kind of creepy, like one about a kid who like froze to death in a house. And so like there's this ghost voice that always just saying like, I'm cold. Yeah, I don't know. It doesn't sound scary when I say it like that, but...
I'm scared.
Okay, phew. But yeah, so I didn't really watch horror movies very much because I was a bit of a coward. But I remember that movie, The Sixth Sense, came out, and for some reason, my friend William and I like had heard that it was really good, and we had to watch it.
Yeah.
And I just remember, yeah, like there's so many things in that movie. I'm going to spoil it because you guys should watch it by
Yeah.
now.
I mean, yeah, this is, again, statute of limitations. What, that movie's like 30 years old now?
Right, exactly.
Sorry if you haven't seen it. Like,
Yeah,
that's on you.
Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis was dead the whole time. Spoiler. But even like the little ones before that, because there's a lot that kind of leads up to that. But, like the one that really stuck in my brain was like the little kid who got his dad's shotgun.
Yeah.
And like he's just
Yep.
like talking to them, and then he turns around and like the back of his head is blown
Yeah,
off.
that was
It's like, oh my god.
yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Yeah, and like the kid who was like throwing up because his mom was poisoning him, or it was a girl, I can't remember.
Yeah, some of the themes were kind of like dark,
was very
especially
dark,
considering that
yeah.
they involved like children.
Yeah,
Right.
a lot of child murder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's where like, yeah, the Sixth Sense, like the boy who could see dead people. I think that was where, yeah, like he kind of connected with a lot of these kids and was able to talk to their spirits. And yeah,
Yeah.
really good movie. I'd really do a rewatch because I haven't watched it maybe since then, actually.
Yeah, we can plug that into movie night. We just
Yeah.
do a movie day.
Let's do it.
All day, start
Movie week.
7 a.m. and
Oh,
just
dude,
like
we should
all
live stream
day.
it.
Oh, that would be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just like sitting here eating popcorn.
Right. Yeah, getting sweaty. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do it in an air condition. I have a big TV at my house. We can do
Oh,
it there.
okay,
We
yeah.
have air conditioning.
Oh, ooh la la.
I know. It's
Air
like,
conditioning. It's about to be winter. You don't need
you
air conditioning
fancy,
in the
huh?
winter.
yeah, true. I
Yeah.
have Snuggies. I don't.
Yeah, we watched
BYOS, bring your own snuggie.
Good, I don't want to share your snuggie.
What?
We watched The Visit last night.
Oh, what's that one?
Visit, sorry.
The
Visit,
name
M. Night
is familiar.
Shyamalan movie.
Oh.
It's
I
a
seen that one?
horror movie. It's a
Is it
found
new?
2015.
Okay.
It's a found
I think I saw that
footage style horror movie. These kids go and they go see their grandparents who they've never met in like rural Pennsylvania.
Okay.
And the mom sends them away. Like they get basically she coordinates with her grandparent, then they're like estranged. They haven't spoken in like 20 years or something or whatever. But she's like, I need to go for this trip for myself. You guys are like old enough. They're like early teen to mid-teens kind of. You're gonna go hang out with grandma and grandpa.
Yeah.
And you've never met them. I haven't spoken to them for like 30 years, but I coordinated with them, whatever, and sending you on a train up there, and they went up on a train, and then grandma and grandpa picked them up, but grandma and grandpa are not what they seem.
Whoa.
They start acting weird and doing weird shit.
They're
and
aliens, and when you wear these glasses, you can see them.
See, but where's my glasses?
So the reason I say this is M. Night Shyamalan either like bangers or like complete
yeah.
like
Like
shitty ass
old
movies.
was
Yeah.
old was fucking horrible.
So
Do you agree?
I didn't
Dude,
watch that,
Old
but
was
it
fucking
looked bad from the
It was
trailer.
horrible.
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
terrible.
I'm
sorry, Mr. M. Night Shyamalan,
Dude.
but that movie was bad.
I'm upset that I went to the movie theater and saw that.
I watched it at home and I
And-
was like, pfft,
By the way, I had like a really expensive pair of sunglasses that I accidentally left on the table at the theater, and
And they
somebody
let you
stole
see
them.
ghosts? Or sorry, aliens?
Yes.
they just let you see bad movies. I
So-
guess.
Oh, no.
So basically, I
Yeah.
have a really bad taste in my mouth about old,
Yeah.
all around.
Yeah.
It was so
But The
bad.
Visit was actually like pretty good.
Okay.
I think it's like one of his better
Yeah.
like
Okay.
horror like suspense films. You
I
know.
like a lot of Mr. Shyamalan
Yeah.
at work, but old
Yeah.
was where I was like, maybe I don't.
That was
Do I have
terrible.
to revisit
Right.
everything
Dude,
he's ever
there's
made?
he's made
Yeah.
a couple of like he's been known for either like really good or really like bad. basically.
Missing.
For sure. Yeah,
Like, I don't know if you saw the latest one he came out with, the murderer in the arena.
No.
I didn't either, but I heard it was terrible.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so which is, again, that's one of those I'll wait for it to
Yeah.
come out on streaming. But
I think I saw somewhere that his daughter is now making movies, or like she's about to make her first movie or something like that.
M. Princess Shyamalan.
Yes, they have the same first initial.
M. Night, it's like KN.
Yeah.
M. Dave Shyamalan. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't remember what it was supposed to be about. So yeah, that's a
Anyway.
little
So
nugget for
sorry,
you guys
another
to-
little tangent there, but like,
Tangents are cool.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah,
But yeah,
check-
no,
yeah.
that's like trying to think of horror movies that I saw like before college, because college is when I
Yeah.
really got into horror
Sure.
movies, and like I love horror movies now. It's like one of my favorite things.
yeah.
But that was definitely like a transition. So there was like some things I saw before that. In fact, on the topic of M. Night Shyamalan, the Village is one that I watched. Another callback. My cousin who I read Harry
I
Potter
actually
with in the
liked.
tent.
I actually liked The Village.
All right, what do you got?
I know some people said it was
I'll-
fucking stupid, but
I'll
I
let
actually
you
liked
finish,
it.
but
Yeah.
what did you think about Lady in the Water?
I didn't watch that one actually.
Okay.
Yeah,
Did not
That
see it.
movie was
I've heard it was not great.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
It was okay.
Was that the
but
one
it
where
was-
she's like having sex with the water or something?
No, that's Shape of Water.
Okay.
And that's what that's Shape of Water, and that's got to do with like Creature of the Black
Fishman.
Lagoon.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah.
And it's
I
all
never
in-
saw that one either,
it's
though
all
I
in
heard it was like
It was his
French
best
or
picture. And
I know.
Yeah, it was a weird one.
Portuguese or-
What's that?
It's like Spanish or French or Portuguese.
Oh,
or something?
the Shape of Water.
Yeah.
It's the guy who did Pan's Labyrinth and that kind of stuff. Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah,
I
but
actually-
it's all of the dialogue is in
It's probably
French or
Spanish.
Spanish, I
Oh,
think.
He's
probably
a-
Spanish.
I actually do like him. I think he's very like creative.
Yeah,
His
yeah.
Labyrinth is
But-
dope.
It's one of the ones
Pan's
that I definitely have
Labyrinth's fucking dope, dude.
been meaning to watch, but I haven't watched it.
I always
Yeah.
said long ago, this would be a big task, and this is another tangent, but I always wanted to turn off the subtitles on Pan's Labyrinth and then
Learn
create
Spanish.
my own dialogue for it
Oh.
and try to play a game with friends where it's
Yeah.
like you're playing this character, you're playing this character, and you would have to just like
Yeah.
try
Ad-lib.
to ad
Yeah,
lib what
ad-lib.
they're saying
Yeah.
to each
Mad
other.
Lib.
That could be
Dialogue.
our palate cleanser during our movie day.
Yeah. It would be difficult. I feel like you'd have to watch it a couple of times to be familiar with
Sure,
it to
yeah.
know what's happening. But I always thought that would be fun, just because it's such a wacky flick that
Yeah.
there's so much going on that you could
Yeah.
really like make some spicy dialogue that has
Ooh, that's
nothing to do
spicy.
with it.
I think we should just decide as a group that it's going to be the story of Peter Pan.
Yes,
Peter
I'm
Pan.
very familiar.
Yeah.
I love me some Peter Pan.
Yeah, me too.
Little Pete.
They'll pay.
But yeah, I think that's essentially I've tapped out my topic. I didn't watch many horror movies. I saw a few
Yeah.
M. Night Shyamalan ones that were intriguing and not just like, I feel like I still, if it's like cheap jump scares and stuff like that, you kind of lose me. You like, if you're involved like emotionally with the characters, that kind of stuff, then it's
Yeah.
like, it's much more fulfilling and rewarding.
I agree.
And I do think that M. Night Shyamalan, with some exceptions, is able to achieve that.
Well, actually, so sorry to go back to The Visit, but The Visit, like, I thought it was actually well written, and the dialogue was like believable, and the
Yeah.
characters. I don't know, like, I think he does a good job of like actually like mostly of actually like making believable, like writing believable stories.
Bringing
Yeah.
stories
Yeah.
to life.
So
For
I
sure,
think that
yeah.
was that's always been his like strong suit. Even
Yeah.
if he always tries to do those like twists at the end,
Right. Yeah.
And
That's what he's known for.
sometimes-
Yeah.
but sometimes it's like old where you're like, this is the twist. Like I spent the entire movie.
Go ahead and spoil it. I don't care. What's the
Serious?
twist?
God, what even happened?
I don't know.
They were on a
They were
beach. They were
stuck
on
in
a
like
beach.
some lagoon somewhere or
Yeah.
something.
They
and-
got stuck in like a cove where time was going super fast, and they were aging super fast.
Yeah, I saw the
basically
trailer,
is
yeah.
the premise of it.
Yeah.
They went from kids to like adults and like
Like
Yeah.
hours
Yeah.
or whatever, and
Yeah.
like in the first 10 minutes, some dude who's like a little older dies of a heart attack and like whatever, and then basically they just like. At the end, like everyone's dead except for two people, and they just like swim under a coral reef, and then like,
and then the problem solved.
and then
or
it's like
something.
done, and it's like what?
Oh.
This is
It was some kind of scientific experiment,
Yeah.
like thing, and
Gotcha.
there was like a area that was under control, and they had to swim out from under the area or
like
something.
swim through this sharp coral, and that was the only
I don't
way
know.
out, and whatever.
Gotcha.
And they, like, there was a cameo of M. Night Shyamalan, like sitting with a telescope or a sniper rifle or something, like watching them grow old, and it's fucking stupid, man.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it's-
I don't even know what the twist was because I was so disappointed that
Yeah.
halfway through I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like I watched the whole thing, but I stopped caring pretty quick. It's just,
And see, and then there's movies like Unbreakable, which was a great movie.
That was a fantastic movie.
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't know that I saw Unbreakable.
Oh, it's another Bruce Willis
I'd
one.
recommend it. It's M. Night Shyamalan.
Yeah.
Bruce Willis. What's
Samuel L.
Sam
Jackson.
Jackson.
Yeah.
I like
good.
it.
You gotta
I like
check it out,
already.
man.
Cool.
Yeah. Yeah, without spoiling any of it, it's a guy who just like can't get hurt.
It's kind of like a superhero. It's kind of like a
Luke
broken,
Cage.
broken superhero movie.
Right. Yeah.
Almost.
It is essentially.
Like,
It predates like the big avalanche tsunami of superhero movies that started. Well, actually, we had all the Batman ones before even like the Iron Man ones kind of kicked off the current thing. But yeah, it's kind of. I'm pretty sure it's an original story.
It is. I think it's original. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's essentially this guy who he finds that he has this quality where he can't get hurt, and so is talked into trying to use it to help people.
Interesting.
And then it goes a lot of weird, interesting places you wouldn't expect. So,
I'll have to check it out. I have a ongoing list of things. So,
and then there's a sequel that's
yeah. So there was
name,
Glass and Split, which are all like in the same universe.
Yeah. So there's like three.
I've seen
There's like
Glass,
three
and I think
movies.
I've seen Split too.
Okay.
Those are all part of this like cinematic universe kind of thing.
And funnily enough, I haven't
You got to
seen
see
any of those. I've only
Unbreakable
seen
first, I think,
Unbreakable,
because
so-
that's the first one.
Yeah.
Because I'm pretty sure I at least saw Glass and I was confused.
Yep.
You
so
would be,
yeah.
yeah.
So you should watch the other one.
Okay.
You saw them all out of order.
Yeah. But yeah.
Anyway.
Yep. Yeah, I think that's all I really had to say. So.
Cool. Is it finally my turn, guys?
I thought we would just skip your turn.
That's cool. We're running out of time.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as I mentioned earlier, I was smirking at Graham while he was talking because I had all of these ideas running through my head, and I like
All the
horror
things you said
movies a
running through your
lot.
head, running through your head.
What's your final idea?
I'm gonna split it, I think, into two. One of them, this was a weird one because it's very niche, esoteric, weird thing. So bear with me. But when we were younger, my parents went to Blockbuster and they like rented us a movie that it was like in the family section, whatever, and it was this movie called The Teacher Ate My Homework.
Okay.
And they were like, "Oh, that sounds like a fun. It's in the family section, whatever."
Yeah.
Turns out, it was not supposed to be in the family section. It was a very, very, very scary
Pornographic.
movie. No,
Oh,
it was just. It was about this doll.
Doll?
Like a doll, like a kid's doll.
Yeah. Like a Raggedy Ann or something.
Kind of. It was like more looked almost like an American Girl doll or
Got it.
something.
Yeah. Okay.
Where it was like a little bit more
Realistic and stuff.
Yeah. And it was like they bought it at this like thrift shop. Grandma or something bought it for the little girl because the little girl's like, "Oh my gosh, I want a doll," whatever.
Yeah.
And this doll, like, kind of voodoo-esque. It had the power to like hurt people if like it basically was kind of a voodoo doll. So it controlled, like, there's a scene where the little girl like drags it down the stairs and then she gets to school and her teacher has fallen down the stairs and like broken her neck and is all fucked up.
Jeez.
And
she still showed up to work, huh?
well, they like,
just kidding.
yeah, whatever. And then she like drops like a glass plate or a knife on it or something, and the doll's fine, but then her mom like gets super injured in like a car accident.
She needs to be more careful with
it's
that
just
doll.
like affecting all of these, but she doesn't know it. It's just this like haunted, weird.
Yeah, but how many
monster
times
doll.
did you drop a knife on a doll or soft toy that you had as a kid?
Right.
Yeah.
All the time.
But then it eventually, I think, did like come to life and was like trying to hurt itself to hurt other people around.
Oh,
and
that's
it was
twisted.
like
I like
it
that.
was fucked. And we were like little kids. I mean, I
Yeah.
was probably 10, 9,
Yeah.
something like that. And
Hey,
my
you guys were watching this as a family
and
together?
we were watching it as a family, and it was so fucking scary.
And your mom is like,
that
wait a
our parents
minute.
were like,
yeah.
go upstairs, go into our room, and turn on like a Disney movie.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Like at the time, like they were like, you can't watch this. It was really.
Did they
scary.
keep watching it though?
I think they finished it.
Of course they
But-
did. You can't watch this, but we will.
major thing why this resonated with me so much is my sister had a doll that was almost fucking identical to this doll from this movie, like almost a perfect match to this movie.
Jeez.
And so we were all, like, we all knew that, and so we'll talk about this in the next segment a little bit, but my brother used to build a lot of haunted houses in our basement.
Nice.
And he always used that doll because he knew I was fucking scared of it. Like, specifically, I was like, no, I hate that thing.
Yeah.
And eventually, I think my parents like literally threw it away because they were like, we can't have this in the house because it was like identical to this monster movie doll.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that's my one story. The Teacher Ate My Homework. I haven't seen it since I was a little kid.
We should find that one for our movie.
It was
we
like a
should,
weird B-side horror flick that ended up being really, really scary.
I'm into it. It sounds good.
With a name like that, you would never expect for that kind of plot.
Right.
Like the name and the actual like story do not connect.
Sure,
Yeah.
totally. So I
Like,
remember
what
because
does
my
a doll
parents were
killing
like,
people have to do with a teacher eating your homework, right?
right. Yeah. I'm not sure. I really don't know, but
probably in the
because
last
I've
scene.
even
Yeah,
talked
right.
to my parents about it in adult times, and they're like, "Oh man, that was like one of the scariest movies they've ever seen." When they were adults and we were little kids, they were like, "It was horrifying."
Wow.
So that's an interesting one.
Thanks,
it's like
Blockbuster.
Weird B-side thing that probably no one else on the planet has heard of except for me.
Love it. We need to find it. We need to track it down.
And then the other one, I'll keep it basic and
Basic.
there's kind of two.
Uh-oh.
When I was a little kid, I used to love the movie Halloween Town.
Oh, yes.
I just loved that movie. I was like, all the just you go to Halloween Town and there's all the witches and
Right.
spookiness, and there was kind of like a spooky villain at the end, like big master monster wizard guy.
Right.
So that was just an important memory because I feel like I watched it a lot of times, but I don't have that much to say about it. And then final topic is Saw.
Oh.
That's very different from Halloween Town.
Yes, that's why I was kind of torn on which one to talk
in
about.
my head, you're like Halloween Town and Hocus Pocus or something.
No. Well, I could talk about Scooby-Doo movies, but there's going to be a
yeah.
segment where I talk about those because they're like my favorite, and I want to do a whole
Were you a
different...
Scooby-Doo boy?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I was a Scooby-Doo boy.
Yeah. Still my favorite movie ever to this day is Scooby-Doo and Zombie Island.
Okay.
And I own like 6 copies of it.
Nice.
But that I want to talk about that in a different thing because I could really, really go into Scooby-Doo.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Saw. The Saw movies.
Yeah.
I got a weird, I didn't really like the later ones, but Saw 1 through 4,
Yeah.
I was like, what is this? I watched the first Saw movie and I was like, holy shit, it's so psychological, and it
Yeah.
wasn't really monster scary, you know?
Right.
It was very psychological, and
Yeah.
especially Saw 1, where it's all in that bathroom,
Right. And it's
it
also
was-
a movie with a twist at the end.
and it's got a
Yeah.
twist at the end. And
Dude,
all of
I
that.
saw in the theater
Okay.
with one
I
of
was
my buddies.
too young. I didn't see it
Yeah.
until later.
I must have been 18 or 19 or something
Yeah.
or whatever. We were just old enough, and me and my buddy loved to see horror movies in the theater. We went and saw. I don't know if you remember Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the new one.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't watch the remake, but I remember
We
it
saw
coming
that in the
out.
theater, and we were living in. He was my roommate at the time. We were living in a house with a dark field next to it, in Arvada, in this open space.
Oh boy.
So we
Great place to live it right after that movie.
we get back.
Fuck, I had another one I
I
could
just
talk
remember we get back and we're parking, and I open the door. It's silence, and there's a field, and I was like, we gotta get inside.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Leatherface is coming. Yeah.
Yeah, anyway, but
so-
I saw was one of those pivotal for me too. I was
Totally.
like, what is this
It was,
movie?
Saw 1 was a pivotal
Saw 1 was
movie
awesome.
in
Yeah.
general. I
Saw
really
2 was
think.
good too, though.
Saw 2 was good. Saw 3 was okay. Saw 4 was actually better than Saw 3. And
don't know
then
if I
it went
watched them.
off the fucking rails.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
And when there was Saw 1 through 7 or something before they started all the new ones.
Right.
When I was in college, I did a thing where I watched 1 every night for a week because
Oh,
there
wow.
were 7 of them.
Yeah.
And by the end, everything, I'm walking around my college campus. I'm want to play it. Everything is a game. I'm
Yeah.
looking at everything and thinking in just that mindset. But really, 1 through 4
Yeah.
were ones that I was okay, these are good.
Yeah.
And then I would say 1, 2, 4 were the order of quality, and 3 was kind of a
Do you remember the scene where the girl falls into the needle pit?
Oh yeah, that's
Yes.
in 2. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll
think
never
I've-
forget that.
I
I'm
think I've only seen the first 2, but yes, I distinctly
Yeah,
remember
that's
that.
where they're in the house and they have to
Yep.
go
Yeah,
through, and they have
right.
all the different rooms for the
Right.
different people.
There's they have to put the hand in the box with razor blades or something like that.
Yep, and there's the furnace. There's the thing that's the
Right.
furnace because the guy burned
Right.
stuff. Was an arsonist or whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was.
And the little creepy guy on the tricycle or whatever the
Yeah.
fuck it is.
You
Wanna
want to
play a
play a
game?
game?
Yeah.
That was not his voice. That's not what he sounds like.
No, it's more like, want to play a game. Yeah.
You are here because you did a podcast poorly. So now you have to talk forever.
Dude, we could be next on the list. We don't know.
Probably. Bad dude.
Yeah.
But yeah, so specifically Saw 1, but the first 4 were important. I've watched them a couple of times since, and I kind of have, at first it really intrigued me, and still Saw 1 because of the psychological factor.
Yeah.
but it just turned into gore porn at some point,
Right.
where it was all about just like how can you do the craziest, goriest thing, and
Right.
that started to lose interest for me.
Yeah.
When it was like puzzles and really mind gamey, and there was some gore, like shocking stuff. You're like, whoa, her head got smashed in the thing, like whatever.
Yeah.
That was interesting because it wasn't over the top, but then it became over the top, and I lost interest.
I think this is kind of a pattern with things that become popular and then like keep going with the franchise. I feel like often they will key into the wrong things and be like, this is what people wanted to see, you know, and they're like, oh, people loved it when there was like crazy gore, but it's like, oh no, people actually liked the fun puzzles or like the psychological torture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that franchise took a bad twist.
Kinda like-
it just went way too far.
Do you guys remember
there's like
Hostel?
12 of them. Hostel was
I never
bad,
saw it, but
dude.
I
Yeah.
remember hearing
Yeah,
about it.
That's how I felt about that movie. Like overall,
Was
is
that
like
Eli Roth or something directing
I'm
that
not sure.
movie?
It came out like kind of similar era to.
Yeah.
It was
It was
in that
yeah.
same like could have been pivotal, but
Yeah.
it was so extreme and so
That's
just
what I've
fucked
heard,
up
yeah.
that it was like.
it was like gore porn for
Yeah.
me. And at some point, I'm like, I don't even care because like all it is people like dying in blood and stuff. And I'm like, where's the story?
There's no story
or whatever.
Yeah.
Like
that's what lost interest for the Saw movies for me.
And then I went to Europe and stayed at a hostel, and my friends were like, "You're staying at a hostel? Have you seen that movie?" And I was like, "Yes."
Okay.
And you're like, yes, and I had to become the one who kills people, so I didn't become the killed one.
I'm like, I'm not the one.
That's right. I'm the one who knocks.
Right. Yeah, I'm not the one who should be worried. Everybody else in the room should.
Yeah.
Yeah, horror movie. I could talk more and more about it. I feel like we've kind of stretched it out pretty far. We're running a little behind.
Yeah, that's for another day. There's tons of horror movie talk.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool. So that's gonna do it for part 1 of this episode, this spooky episode, and we're gonna head off to our not sponsors. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Hey, Sam.
Oh, hey Ryan.
I've been practicing my indoor parkour recently, and I just mastered a new move.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you
Can
want
I
to
see it? Yeah.
Yeah. Ready?
Yeah. Whoa! That was unbelievable. I wish I had that on video.
Hello, my name is Graham Johnstone. I'm the founder of Black Dove Studios. We offer professional photography and video services for your business or organization. If you want us to capture something that is super professional and awesome, give us a call or check us out online, 855-775-DOVE or blackdovestudios.com.
Black Dove Studios.
Studios.
Hello. And welcome back to the second part of our spooky episode of Wax Nostalgic. Thank you to the Peanut Gallery for the sound effects.
I was making faces, but that doesn't translate to audio.
There's a video portion if you're interested.
That is
See
true.
Ryan's spooky face.
We need an audio descriptor.
Yeah.
Ryan makes scary faces.
Ryan does the face from the Scream.
So this portion of the episode, we're going to continue with our spooky theme and talk about haunted houses.
Yeah.
This is a topic fairly near and dear to my heart because I hate haunted houses.
But they love you.
They don't.
Oh.
They don't.
So we can get started. I can start if you guys want, since I already kind of like made that blurt of a
I don't
comment.
only want, I insist.
Sure. Why don't you start?
So this is Sam. I hate haunted houses.
Sam who?
Disco Savage.
There we go, yeah.
Oh, disco.
It's something that since I was a little kid, I have always just had a major aversion to haunted houses. I don't like. This is a weird thing to say, but I don't really find myself to be scared of that many things. Like, I'm not really scared of spiders. I'm not really scared of heights, whatever. But I am scared of haunted houses because of what they are. It's the anxiety of of walking into a room knowing that something is going to jump out at you is a feeling that I don't like. And I know a lot of people really like that. It just, gives them that adrenaline, that whatever. But it just makes my soul hurt. Like, I just don't like it.
Yeah.
And I never have. So
you're trying to get into acting and stuff, right?
Yeah.
Would you ever be a haunted house actor? Be
maybe.
on the other side?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Because I feel like that's exciting too.
Yeah,
Being the
maybe, but
scarer.
I don't know that that's not the direction I would probably want to go. We talked about prior. I love scary movies. I love like spooky stuff.
Yeah.
The macabre I'm down with, but just the just the anticipation and the anxiety of being jumped out at and scared is something that does not work with me.
Yeah, I mean, you make a good point because, like, if you watch a movie, you know that nothing's going to touch you. If you see a spider, you know it's unlikely to leap and bite you. But when you're going through a haunted house, like, part of the social contract is things will leap out at you.
And you don't
maybe
smell the
things will touch
chainsaw gas.
Yeah,
burning,
it's
you know?
it's going to
some
happen.
guy's chasing you, and you hear the footsteps, like, right behind you.
you. Yeah.
And even, like, when I was younger, if you're not Colorado local, you probably wouldn't know this. If you are Colorado local, you might. There's a place called Rinky Brothers. Do you know Rinky Brothers?
Yeah, I was just there last
downtown
week,
Littleton,
actually.
which is like, it's like a scary store. It's a
that,
Halloween
that place
store.
is like awesome.
Yeah, it's
by the
sick.
way.
It's a badass store.
Is it like a Spirit Halloween, but like more local?
Like real, yeah.
But they,
I mean,
but they also
it's
they
a
rent
staple.
costumes.
Nice.
They have like all kinds of like.
Oh, that sounds cool because I love Spirit, but
It's,
like
but
my
it's actually like good stuff
is-
too, not just like
Yeah.
pop-ups like shitty like Spirit
Yeah,
Halloween
this
stuff.
is a
Right.
100% legitimate like
Yeah.
costume shop.
they've
But they
probably-
also do magics. Like they have a lot of magic stuff
Oh,
there.
cool.
Like
Yeah.
They've been there for like 40 years.
Oh my
or,
gosh,
like
yeah,
a long
it's a
time too.
staple.
It's
Okay.
dope. Like if you ever get down there, check it
go
out.
there. It's really
Yeah.
fun.
should.
I'm not going to go through the
Yeah.
haunted house.
Yeah.
They have a haunted house. That's
Oh,
like that
I
they
can do
do
that.
all
I can
year
do that while
long,
you
but they
shopping,
do it
yeah.
like they super it out,
Yeah.
like expand it during the
That's cool, yeah.
the Halloween
So
season.
I heard that like before, like during the day before dark is when they like make it safe for kids,
Oh,
and then at night is like when it's like
the
more
adult.
scarier for adults.
gotcha. Yeah.
So we
So-
should go at night.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was something that like my.
like
yeah.
I'm not gonna go. I won't do it. Like I'll hang out in the store. I won't do it. Like
Yeah.
that might make me a pussy or whatever, but it's something that I just don't like. Like I really don't.
Nothing wrong
So
with that.
when I was a kid, they were like, my family was like, we're gonna go through the Rinky Brothers haunted house. Like let's go. And I was like, no. And my aunt or my uncle or somebody was like, I'll give you $20 if you go through this haunted house. And I was like, probably 10 or
Yeah.
something.
You're
And
like,
I was
yeah.
like, okay, I will.
Yeah.
And it just nailed that down for me. Like I was like, I want
Never
to
again.
leave. Like I don't even
Yeah.
want the $20. I just want to get out of here. Like please let me out. Like
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's a weird thing, and I tell people this all the time. Like they're like, "What are you afraid of?" I'm like, "Fucking haunted houses." Like
Yeah.
I just don't like them. It's weird.
Yeah,
As a
nothing wrong with that.
31-year-old man who likes scary
31,
stuff.
that's the Halloween number.
I know. But it's a weird thing, but yeah, it just doesn't vibe with me. But when I did that and I hated it.
Yeah.
But I like that store, and it's a really like I think all the curiosities, and there's like sculptures and animatronics, and
Yeah.
it's like
Yeah.
all gory and like scary stuff, and I'm like, sweet.
Yeah.
Because I can walk through here and no one's gonna jump out at me. I know that. I'm cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whatever. But when I was a little kid, and I mentioned this a little bit previously, talking about that doll that was in the movie that I watched, but my brother and his friend used to take our basement and build haunted houses down there in the basement. And we had like a ping pong table and like other furniture and stuff that they would blanket fort basically. And they would have me crawl through and they would like scare us. And I even hated that. Like I was like, as a little kid, I was like, I don't want to do this. And they're like, somebody has to do it. Like, we made this and you're the only person in the house.
We need some,
Like,
we need some user testing.
like
yeah.
our little brother Luke eventually started doing it, but they built these haunted houses like for me, and
Yeah.
I hated them then.
Oh.
And I hated them then, and it was like,
You're like, fuck your haunted house.
yeah,
We
man.
built it for you. No.
yeah, no,
Absolutely
like
not.
you spend all of
Yeah.
this time, and
Well,
I
let's
don't
be
want
honest, you built it for you, and now you're just trying to put that on me.
Right, yeah, like
exactly.
that's probably why I
Yeah.
don't like them, because I was like young
Yeah.
enough at that
Yeah.
point when I was like they were doing it. It was regularly they would do it, and
Yeah.
it just yeah.
No, you can internalize those things for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, so my brother and his friend used to make haunted houses all the time, and I hated them then. And they used to use that fucking doll that was basically
Oh,
the
yeah.
same doll from that movie that scared the shit out of me.
Teacher ate my
From
homework.
Teacher
Yep.
Ate My Homework.
Yeah.
And it was just, So it's not that much of a fun story, but a little something about me is I really like, as an adult, if my friends are like, let's go to this, like my neighbor down the street from me has like his whole yard is like a badass Halloween decoration thing, but like week before Halloween and up until Halloween, he does like a little haunted house that goes through like into his garage, into his house, and then kind of out through the garage. And I don't even want to go through that. I did go through it one time, and I was just on edge the whole time.
Yeah.
Like, this is my fucking neighbor. I've seen all of these things in his yard. I know what to expect.
Right.
And I still just don't like it. It's a really weird thing. So
No, I think it's fine. I think the anticipation of knowing that something's about to happen is uncomfortable, and that's what makes it kind
also,
of fun.
like,
but-
you don't have any control.
Yeah, right.
Because everybody else is like the environment, everything's being controlled around you, and that's another thing of like
don't like being out of control.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like I don't think I would be this guy because I'm not a violent type of guy, but like
he did punch the guy. Or
Like
something.
yeah, I don't
Right.
want to just reactively like punch somebody or push
Yeah.
somebody or something because like I don't know how like. At this point, it's just a principle. I'm like,
Yeah.
I could probably go through most of these haunted houses and not be scared, but I just have decided I don't like it and I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
So that is my story. Thank you for
And I'm
getting to know me.
sticking to it.
You could judge me if you want. I don't really care. But
I'll be honest, if I'm with people, I hate being at the back of the line going to a haunted house because that same thing. You're just like, something's going to come from behind at some point.
Yeah, that's why I usually put the girl back there.
Right.
The girlfriend. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Don't worry, I'll save you.
I wasn't afraid at all because I had a human shield.
Right.
She had a purse, and I put a whole bunch of nickels in it. So it went in. So
Whack.
Yep.
I got a tube sock full of pool balls. What?
Jesus, dude. The guy's like, it was just pretend.
That's right. I'm wearing makeup.
He's like legit bleeding
Yeah,
from under his
mummies aren't
Jason mask.
real.
Oh, man.
Anyway,
Yeah.
So thanks for getting to know me. That was,
Thanks
I'm
for
not
getting
embarrassed
to
about
know
it, but it is a fun fact about me that I just really
Don't be
hate.
embarrassed.
So,
It's fine.
Yeah.
there you go. That's me. Haunted houses.
Cool.
Haunted houses.
Do you want me to go next? Do you want to go next?
I'll go next.
Okay.
I'm the opposite. I actually really like haunted houses.
Cool.
Ooh, debate.
Debate. Debate now. No,
that's sick.
no
I'm
debate
glad you
necessary. I mean, like, I don't know. I kind of always like getting scared and like all that stuff. And I always, it's like a thing. Like, I know it's like fake.
Right.
So I go into it like with this like knowledge that like this guy running up behind me with a chainsaw is not a real chainsaw. Like,
Right.
I know this.
Or it is, but without a chain. Yeah.
Right. It's not gonna actually chop you, and
Yeah.
they're legally not supposed to touch you or whatever. Like,
Legally
Right.
not supposed to chop you with a real chance.
Yeah.
Okay.
So anyway, like, and it's the thing. Like, I think it was like it's a thing where I know the contract.
Right.
Like, I understand. Like,
Yeah.
like that this is for like entertainment purposes.
Yeah,
It's gonna
yeah.
scare me, but like that's what it's for.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
if I was ever to be in like a I don't know, an actual serial killer's house and chasing me around, I probably would think differently.
So,
Which is normal, yeah.
Like I know that obviously I would be way more scared in a real dangerous situation, but if I walked into a house and all of a sudden there was somebody that was like, I'm going to kill you with the chainsaw, I feel like I would be better equipped to be like, I'm going to react. I can punch this guy in the face.
Right.
Like,
Punch the guy.
whatever. Yeah,
That's an interesting. That's an interesting take on it. But you're
like
right.
I know that obviously if I was in real danger, it would be a way more scary thing. But like,
Right. But the gloves are off. You can do whatever. Yeah.
well, and
Yeah.
also
You
like
can kill him
people,
back.
Yeah.
sorry to tangent off, but like people, there's this like question, like, would you rather have somebody walk around the corner, or like you walk around the corner and get kicked in the nuts, or would you rather stand there and have somebody like, I'm gonna kick you in the nuts and it's coming? Like, I would rather walk around the corner and get kicked in the nuts than have somebody stand there and wait for somebody to do it.
But do you know which corner it's going to be? Because it's kind of the same thing in that case.
No.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
in the next 2 days, this could
Right,
happen.
yeah, okay.
Or
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it right now in the next 10 minutes, and you have to wait until I decide when.
Gotcha,
I
yeah,
would
yeah.
rather be surprised.
Yeah.
By that versus knowing that it's going to happen.
Which is also kind of funny because I
So-
feel like there's like a trick you play when you're kids or whatever where it's like, hey, you just made me angry, so like sometime in the next day I'm gonna punch you and I'm not gonna tell you when.
Yeah.
And that's like supposed to torture the person because then like they're
Yeah.
worried
Yeah.
about it the
Well,
whole time.
yeah. I mean, I would still be like anxious or whatever, but
Yeah.
I like again, just the like it's about to happen.
Yeah.
Type of mindset is like, I guess the
Okay.
part that I'm uncomfortable.
So like when you get like an injection or something like that, do you look or do you look away?
I look away, but
Okay.
I'm not like I don't mind needles.
Yeah,
and stuff.
because injection is the same thing as like.
Well, so like, okay, so I'm thinking of like giving blood or something like that. They're always just like,
Yeah.
now's the time to look away if you want to. I kind of like to look at it because it's like interesting and then like you know when it's going to happen. But a lot of people, it's like what Sam's saying, where it's just like, you know it's going to happen. You don't need to know exactly when.
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
get it over with. You know.
I'm not
kind
afraid of needles. Like for when I was a little kid, I
Yeah.
didn't like needles. But like now, if somebody's like, "We're gonna draw your blood," I'm like, "Okay," and I'm not like, like staring at my arm
that's what
or
I'm doing,
whatever.
yeah.
But like I'll close my eyes or whatever, and I feel it, and it's not scary. Like, but it's just
Yeah.
different stuff. Anyway, I'm sorry. To interrupt.
No, it's fine.
I'm passionate about this topic.
So I just remember there was a couple of different like haunted house experiences that I've had over the years. One of them was there's this place called Frightmare Compound,
Okay.
and it's in like Westminster up
Okay.
north, like kind of by where like I grew up. And this guy, I actually know the guy that runs it or whatever. But turns out he was like probably like a late teen, early 20s, and he like basically his parents live on like this big like acre lot somewhere up there. And it's not really a farm, but it's like has like a barn and stuff. And so he built this haunted house on
Nice.
attached to the barn.
Yeah.
So there's like hay bales and there's all this huge course that you go through.
Cool.
And that was like one of the first haunted houses that I went to.
Yeah.
That's
And it was cool because it was like outdoors, and this guy, like I said, he literally just added on to like this like outbuilding or
Did
this
he
like
hire
bar.
like people to work it and like be?
Yeah, it
That's cool.
ended up being like a huge. It's still going today. Like it's one of the top, like considered one of the top haunted houses in like
Oh,
Colorado.
really? Weren't you talking about this to us the other day? And you said
Maybe.
you went there when it was closed down and just got to walk
Oh no,
through
no.
it?
I was talking about this.
That
This
was
is a different
you.
one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Wow, that's weird. Okay, go on.
No, but
Wait,
yeah,
is it still the same name? Because I know there's one called like Terror in the Corn. or
it
something
is.
like that.
Yeah, it's the
Okay.
same name. I'm pretty sure it's still going on.
Okay, it's like Anderson Farms or something. Is the one
And
that
it's
I
like,
think
yeah,
about.
because you know, I've been to ones that are completely indoors. This one is cool because it's like outdoors, but then you like go indoors. And I just remember like, I don't know, like that I was waiting in line with my friends and the anticipation, and I was
Right.
like, and everybody's like in line, and you go up and you get, it's like cold kind of, so you get some
Yeah.
hot cocoa and some like,
Yeah.
I don't know, like for me, I was like, this is cool. And then you finally get to like go in, and then it's like scary and shit, and some guys running up behind you. like, stuff that you hate.
No, that's
like-
awesome.
And you go through this
no
like
judgment.
course.
I know
and,
people like
yeah.
I know
Yeah.
people like that stuff, and I'm
You know.
down with that. It's just not for me.
But
I
no, but
get
yeah,
it.
like it was like, I don't know. There's something like exhilarating about
Yeah.
the experience for me. Like, oh, and then one of the scariest ones I went to was actually Elitch Gardens,
Well,
Oh,
which is strange enough. One year,
it's a local theme park.
yeah,
did
it's
they
like,
have like an actual haunted house there?
so yeah, it was they did so.
They do like Spooktoberfest.
This
or
was-
Fright Fest or whatever.
Yeah, it was like Fright Fest, I think is what it was called. But like it was, I mean, I was like in my 20s at this point, and me and my girlfriend at the time bought season tickets, Elitch's, because I lived across Spear, like in the apartments, so I could just walk over there.
Right there. yeah.
Nice.
So we would go all the time, and like at some point, like in the fall, they shut down some of the rides, keep some of them open, but they have everything's like Halloween themed around the park, and then they also have a haunted house. But the haunted house, like when I went, was actually scary. It was not. I don't think it was for kids. Like I think it was actually, maybe it's like the Rinky where it's like the daytime is for kids.
Yeah,
Nighttime was like,
up.
dude, like that was like legit scary. Like there was one room at the very end.
And it's just a walking one.
Yeah, you walk
don't
through
take
the-
a ride through it.
No,
It's
yeah,
just a walk.
it's like
Okay.
it was like in this old building or something, just some warehouse like building or something there, and they've like outfitted it and they had all these different rooms. It's like a normal walk through, like
Neat.
indoor. But the one of the last rooms, I remember entering, and it was like slaughterhouse themed, but there was like bags. There were basically human bodies hanging from the
Chain.
from the ceiling, and there were strobe lights, and it was like strobing so fast, and there were the bodies were like packed side by side, so you had to walk through like shimmy through these like
yeah.
hanging body bags, and there were fucking guys waiting for you. But to your point,
Putting me on edge right now.
I know, but like to your point, like that was one of the times where I'm like, not only can I not see because of the strobes,
Sure.
like everything's like just delayed, but like I couldn't even see anything. I had no way to know. And so these guys would just come out of nowhere. They could see, they knew where you were coming from. They probably see the thing moving. And they had like masks and like, fake knives and stuff. They're like, that was actually legit scary, dude.
Yeah, that sounds scary.
That was probably one of the times where I was like, where I kind of felt like probably how you do. And I was like, I gotta get out of here.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I've been to the
And there was like
Fright Fest.
fog and stuff. You know how it is. Like, it's just like completely
disorienting and like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been to the Fright Fest at Elitch's a couple of times. Like, just it's a fun time to go because there's like decorations and whatever. And I've never noticed that, but maybe because I'm just like, steer away from it.
Notice
I don't notice it because I blot it out.
It's like,
Well, again, like I said,
don't see anything there.
this was like this was, I don't know, 15, 20 years ago. I don't know. It was like a long time ago. Maybe they stopped doing it too.
Because
I
they
don't
still
know.
do that. Well, I don't even know what is up with the Elitch's now. They're like closing, not closing,
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
But we went a couple of years ago, and statute of limitations is probably done, but we have.
What did you do?
We have.
use that phrase too much on this podcast.
we have several decorations that were like things hidden. You've been to my house.
Yeah.
The octopus I call it Baby Cthulhu.
Oh,
but
I
it's
think I
like
remember that. Yeah.
it's an octopus that's like probably this big.
Wow.
Like it's huge and it's like spooky and like
Yeah.
very like Halloween material, like this like weird plasticky rubber. But
Yeah.
it's like a high quality Halloween decoration that definitely belonged at Elitch's. and then
Nice.
we just like, oh no, this is just a prize we won at one of the booths. And just like walked out. But we have several.
I want to
things,
believe that like whoever was at the gate absolutely did not believe you,
like-
but was not paid enough to care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that
Nobody
happens
even
a lot.
said anything.
Yeah.
We're just like
Yeah.
walking through, like, oh
Nobody
man,
cares,
some
yeah.
of the prizes were crazy, and the people are probably like, get the fuck out of here.
That's right.
Like,
Take your stolen goods and go.
yeah,
Oh,
go.
man. That's funny.
So sorry to distract, but yeah, that's interesting because I haven't noticed.
Yeah.
It's been a couple of years, but I never noticed like an actual haunted house there.
Yeah.
I'm sure I just looked past it.
Yeah, I definitely remember that one. But and I've been to several other ones here and there. Like, generally speaking, like I don't seek them out every year. I don't really care if I go or not.
Sure.
But if I go, I'll go. And I've been to some that are terrible too, where you're like, man, I can't believe I wasted, because they're
Right.
expensive,
Wasted
dude. They're
time
like
and money.
$50 sometimes.
And
to
you
get
gotta
in.
wait in line.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if you're spending that much time and money and effort, like it better be good.
Right.
And sometimes I go and I'm like, this is so disappointing. So
Right.
kind of just depends.
Part of the other reason that I wouldn't like it now, it's like somebody's like, you want to do a haunted house? I'm like, I know I'm not gonna like it, even if I don't hate it. I'm not
Right.
gonna go
Yeah.
spend $50 to do something that I know I don't like. Like,
Yeah.
so anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
But what if we paid you $20?
Well, also like
So
Oh.
so net loss of $30 then. Like,
the one last thing I'll say about haunted houses
Yeah.
is, I think I've been to some that are like, it's either scare the bejesus out of you and like jump scare and like, or it's like you just walk through rooms that have the most like bizarre, disgusting like
Right.
stuff, like somebody's like machinations of somebody's like crazy mind.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like, so I feel like it's kind of like either one. So
Yeah.
if you were to go to a haunted house that didn't have the jump scares and was just like scenes of like,
Yeah,
Would
I'd
that
be
be-
more inclined to
yeah,
do something.
like
Yeah.
there, I remember what it was like a nurse like giving birth to like, or like helping like somebody give birth to like
Demon monster.
yeah,
baby
demon
or something.
babies or some
Yeah.
shit like that. And she was an actress and she's like, I'm crazy, covered in blood and stuff. Like, I was like, okay, this
Yeah.
If it
isn't
was
like the
more
scary thing.
scene work than like scare stuff. Oh, mic down. If it was more like I'd
So
be
I'm getting
more,
very animated.
I'd be more inclined to go to something
Okay.
like that versus
Yeah.
like a place that's like you're gonna get the shit scared out of you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But still, I probably would be uncomfortable and not
Yeah.
really want to do it. But I'd be
gotcha.
more inclined to do something like that.
Yeah.
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 That makes sense.
Okay, that's it.
Cool.
What you got, Ryan?
That's it.
I thought I might talk about birds.
Okay.
Yeah, just
Scary
change it up a
birds?
little bit. No, I'm just kidding.
Scary birds.
Scare birds, yeah. No, I'd say I'm like in the middle in terms of you guys with haunted houses, where it sounds like you detest them and you adore them. I think
Adore.
adore. I think they're fun, but
Jesus Christ.
I hope the mic picked that up.
Well, for those of audio listeners,
I just took a sip of water.
yeah, that wasn't anything
it
weird.
wasn't a sip. It was a slurp. Thank you very much.
That wasn't
I took
anything
a
weird.
slurp of water.
Yeah. He slurped
Everything's
that water.
fine over here.
Yeah. I like haunted houses. It is like a thing where when I get there, I'm always just like, oh, I forgot that this is so scary, you know? And I always like end up being the guy at the back of the group. And like, I think because at one of the first haunted houses I went to, there was like a scare early on where someone like came up behind you, you know, and like scared you.
Yeah.
I'm always expecting that now, even though a lot of them, they don't have that. They have like everything's in front of you, that kind of thing. So I'm just like perpetually paranoid that someone's going to come up behind me. But I think, yeah, it might also be, you know, you kind of talking about these bad experiences with haunted houses that your brother put together in the basement that were not your favorite thing. The first haunted house I can remember doing, I was pretty old already. I think I was in graduate school living in Atlanta. My friend took me to a haunted house. And well, that's not true. I remember going to like a small one at a mall when I was younger, but it was like pretty unimpressive. It's the first like big production
A
one.
haunted room.
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
one of those ones I was talking about. You waste your money.
Yeah.
Disappointed.
And it's like the one where they their one thing is like they chase you out at the end, so like you see people running out screaming, and it's like, oh, that must be good, and then like the rest of it's
You go
pretty
in.
mediocre. Yeah,
It's like the Willy Wonka experience.
right.
No,
Yeah,
that I heard was great.
Did you hear about the? Sorry to go off. Did you hear about the? What was it? There was a new Willy Wonka experience story
Like a different
with
thing?
Bridgerton.
Oh God.
Oh, I did hear about
And
that.
so
yes.
some lady like dancing on a pole.
Oh man.
You gotta go check it out. It's
Completely
wild.
created by AI and like just absurd.
They're like we have no idea who put this together because there's like
Yeah,
a
wasn't-
shell company within a shell
Wasn't
company.
there also
or
like no
something.
furniture there or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
If somebody created an AI entirely AI designed haunted house, I might nut up and go through.
That'd be interesting.
Like,
yeah.
would
just
actually
to
be
see
really
what it was
interesting.
all about.
All the hands had 5 fingers. Woo. Yeah.
Oh, one thing AI cannot get right is fingers.
Yeah.
So it'd be like all the hands would be all fucked
Right.
up looking.
Yeah. I do like my conspiracy.
Will Smith is there eating spaghetti.
Right.
Ah, this is terrifying.
My inner conspiracy theorist wonders if people intentionally like made these AIs bad at generating fingers just to make it so it's like, look, you can always look at the fingers or whatever.
Yeah.
Because like there's so many other like complicated facial expressions that they do totally
That's true.
fine, and it's just the fingers.
It's just like the AI guys were like, this is our little joke that it's
Right.
like
Yeah.
we could. I mean, we flip one switch and fingers are
This is-
dialed.
this is-
but right now,
this is the missing scale in Smaug's armor. You know, yeah. If we need to shut it down, we just like we can always pick it out by the
can't
fingers.
become iRobot because it's got fingers.
That's right.
Right, exactly.
AI will not take over the world because we always know
the fingers.
because of the fingers.
Yeah, and they try to like print replicants of people, and they just have like
Fingers are like, oh, fuck.
Finger cone on the middle of the
Right.
hand.
Yeah. I also could equally see that the fact that hands do so much dexterous stuff that they're always in different shapes,
Yeah.
maybe it just is very hard to train and generate
For
pictures.
whenever I try to draw like a figure, those,
Yeah.
I always find that hands are one of the
Hands are
hardest
hard.
things.
Hands are hard,
I've
yeah,
gotten decent at it over the years of practicing, but hands are always hard.
Those
Yeah.
are the hardest for me.
for sure.
I have a harder time with feet.
Really?
Not
Like,
a foot,
unless
not a
they're
foot
like
guy.
boots. You know,
No.
if it's like bare feet, that I find hard. But
Paws. That's what bears have.
paws are cool.
Yeah.
Paws are.
Pause.
Bare feet.
Pause.
Bare feet are paws.
Anyway, Ryan, spooky.
So yeah,
Boogie paws?
it was just a very fun experience, and I learned that the one in Atlanta was not the one in the mall, but it was like a super soldier. Like they had a whole overstory where it's like, yeah, they're trying to create super soldiers, so they had all those weird fucked up things along the way where it's
Yeah,
like a woman,
Like science experiments gone bad.
right,
kind of
a
thing.
woman
Yeah.
giving birth to an alligator or something.
Yeah,
you know?
sure. Yeah.
And
It's always a woman giving birth to something. Like,
Right.
I mean, it's a
Like,
pretty
yeah.
terrifying thing.
yeah, fatherhood.
I've heard. I don't know.
Yeah, but
Fatherhood.
fatherhood. But the last room, there was like, yeah, this like military dominatrix type woman who like
Wow.
lines you up and berates you essentially. And I was like,
I actually might be into that.
I know I said I hate haunted houses, but man,
He's like, can I skip to the end?
I walk in the back door.
when I get scared and nervous like that, I just like start laughing a lot and like just getting kind of nervous. And so she's just like, what are you what are you smirking about? And I'm like, I'm just happy,
I'm
so
just happy.
I think that was the wrong answer because it was another one where they kind of.
I think that probably was the wrong answer.
Well, it's another one where they kind of chase you out.
She's
again.
like, get out of here, you Nancy boy, and like smacks
All
your
right,
ass.
Mr. McGiggles, get on the
Right. Well, like
Get on the floor, lick my boots.
The superhuman specimen that they make. It's kind of like Rocky Horror Picture Show. If you've seen that, it's like the big buff guy with like little
stockings, or
pants
something?
on or whatever. What do you call them? Briefs.
Wait, what?
This is definitely like a kind of a porny haunted house.
Wait a minute. So you saw the soldier at the end, and it was a guy wearing briefs.
No, the soldier was a woman.
Sponsored by Pornhub.
And then the guy came out and he was like, like the super soldier, and he like kind of chases you out or whatever. But then he's only supposed to chase you to the door. Well, it's like boxers maybe. I don't know, but they're like shiny.
Was he packing heat?
So the next part of the story is,
Dude, this doesn't scary to me. Like, unless he's got like a 12-inch dog.
Yeah.
So they were only supposed to chase you like.
That's scary for like.
He's just like,
what kind of man
he's
am
just
I?
like spinning it, just like chasing you. Meat
He's only
spin.
supposed to chase you to the door.
Anyway, sorry.
He's only supposed to chase you to the door, and then you run out. And we saw all these groups before us doing this, and we're like, okay, it's one of those. They chase you out at the end. In my group, I think because I had that unintentionally sarcastic answer, this super soldier, when he chased us out, like followed us and like started like dancing up against me. So like totally breaking the.
Dude.
Awesome.
Yeah.
This is hilarious.
This is awesome.
Yeah, totally breaking the
love
do not
this story.
touch. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, he was out of the haunted house. Those rules
Right,
are out
rules
the
are
window,
He
man.
was on his own time then, yeah.
He's on his own time.
I'm taking my 15. Runs out happy.
Yeah, exactly. It was just like that.
Dude, that's
Oh
awesome.
man!
It was- yeah,
so
it was-
he's like rubbing up against you and stuff. You're like,
yeah.
get
I was
the
just like, oh, cool, all right. It's
Dude,
not over
that
yet.
is funny. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
It was
That's
fun.
great. I love that story.
And then my related story is I went to a haunted house in San Diego when I lived there, and again I get nervous and like
Giggly.
goofy, yeah. And so I was doing that, and this guy like was on the other side of a table, and he's like looking all creepy, and he has this little baby doll, and like I think he saw that I was like kind of weird, and he's like, kiss my baby. And so I was like, okay, and like I kissed the doll, and he's like, now kiss me. And I was like, all right.
And then he drops his pants into his boxer briefs and then just starts grinding up on you. I remember you from Atlanta.
Remember me? Yeah. Dude. But then, so like I gave him a little kiss on the cheek because I'm obedient.
Oh my god, this is fucking wild.
And then like as I was leaving the room, I heard him saying to the other actors like, "Yo, I just got that guy to kiss me."
Dude, these are really great stories, and also like, how do
hilarious,
you
man.
find yourself to be the person being put in these situations so often?
I just look really awkward and smile.
They pick on him. I think
Yeah.
they're like, oh, that guy's an easy mark.
Right.
That's just like I feel like that
That's
happening,
funny.
something like that happening once is like, wow, funny story.
Yeah.
That happening twice, it's like, am I putting off some energy?
Right.
I thought
Dude, I
this
just got that guy to
pheromone
kiss
cologne
me.
was- I
Yeah.
thought this pheromone cologne was supposed to attract women.
That's right. Not ghosts, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, so those were some of my early haunted house experiences.
Those are great stories.
That's
Yeah.
great,
It's
man.
really
I love
fun.
that.
Yep. But no, I enjoy haunted houses, but it's always fun to go with a group and then try to not be at the back of the group.
You can't be at the back or somebody's going to come up on you.
Right, exactly.
That's what you should really be scared about, not the guy with the chainsaw.
walk
Right,
into a
yeah.
dark room and it just like
That's right. Is that
And
a
you're just
chainsaw
like,
in your boxers? Or are you
The
happy
lights
to see
slowly
me?
turn up, and all of a sudden there's a guy behind you. Ah!
Yeah. So, yep. Haunted houses.
There's a new idea for a haunted house.
yeah, just
Chippendale's haunted house.
Right. Yeah.
something.
Las Vegas.
Right.
Yeah, just find things that like are not scary but like make people uncomfortable and just do those things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like this is a different flavor of haunted house.
Yeah.
Right.
We're gonna do like nails on a chalkboard
Right.
and we're gonna like have, people just walking around like nearly nude.
Right,
but
exactly.
Not nude, like just kind of like
Wearing
Yeah.
nude-colored underwear.
Right.
Yeah.
So you think they're naked, but you don't see any
That's right.
parts, and you're
We're
like,
gonna-
what's
we're
going
gonna-
on with that?
We're going to talk openly about women's periods and menopause. Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, God.
All of these
Oh,
things.
God.
Oh, God.
Yeah, there's just a religion room.
Right.
You just walk in, they're like, have you heard about Jesus Christ?
They all just swarm you and start like trying to give you stuff. No, get away.
Yeah, that sounds like my one experience going to a Mormon church, but I'll save that for another episode.
I've heard that story. It's
Yeah.
cool.
So,
Anything
haunted
else
houses.
for haunted
That was
houses?
good. That was a good way to
That was
end.
a really fun one. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was awesome.
Yeah, quick plug. If you like horror movies and haunted houses, because those are our two topics, there's a series called The Houses October Built, which is a pretty fun series of, it's kind of found footage, which we were just talking about on the break. But it's these people who want to like go to a like extreme haunted house, and it's like they've heard of it. It's word of mouth.
Yeah, quick minor tangent, but I'm sure you guys have heard of those like extreme haunted houses that are like the 13th floor or whatever, where you like sign a waiver
Right,
saying
that people
they
can touch it.
you.
Yeah.
And they'll like put spiders and shit on you.
I didn't know that part.
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
Jeez, dude, where's this?
I don't know.
I know.
There is
I think the one that was famous
one.
was in like New York City.
Yeah, there's
Okay.
like a really
Interesting.
one really famous one that it's like if you like nobody makes it all the way through. Like trained military Navy SEALs didn't make it all the way through.
So it's like Fear Factor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like Joe Rogan
Like
just
snakes
pops
and
out and like
spiders
starts
and
throwing
shit.
scorpions on you.
like they can
Yeah.
touch you and they can like spray you
Now
with
eat this
shit.
hissing cockroach. Yeah.
Like, that's I mean. Big no from that's gonna be a no for me, dog.
No.
Yeah.
But just curious if you guys had heard about it.
I've heard of it, but I
didn't
haven't
even know those
done
exist.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the most famous one is called the 13th floor,
I think that sounds right. Yeah.
but I'm not sure. It's like 13 floors in like an old hotel or something.
Oh yeah. Oh. Can we keep plugging more things, please?
I mean, I don't know what our timeline looks like, but sure.
I
can
have
cut
two
it out
elevator.
if
Yeah,
you
we
want.
can always cut this. I have two elevator related content things to talk about for Halloween. One is if you guys haven't seen the David Pumpkins sketch from SNL from several years back. Have you guys seen that?
I don't think so.
Tom Hanks is the guest. He plays this character who's like an original Halloween character called David Pumpkins. And there's these guys like in an elevator going through like the floors of fear. And it's like, you know, the girl from The Ring and then like someone with a chainsaw. And then it's just like, I'm David Pumpkins. And they're like, who the hell is David Pumpkins? You know, I don't know. I won't spoil the whole thing,
Yeah.
but it's very funny.
Well, that sounds something easy to watch.
Yeah. And then the other one is, I don't know why I'm plugging this because I don't know where you can watch it these days. It was like a short-lived game show called Hellevator. And it was hosted by the Soska sisters, who are these two sisters who like direct and write some horror movies and stuff like that. And they're just like very quirky. They're very gothy. I think one of them has like sharpened teeth sort of thing, you know? But it was like, yeah, they take contestants in an elevator and go to these different floors in like an old like warehouse type factory area. And they'd be all like set up with a different theme. So it's like Jack the Ripper's the theme. So each floor has a different like puzzle you have to solve, and it's Jack the Ripper themed or that kind of thing. And then by the end, you kind of accrue some time or something like that to go through this like gauntlet at the end and win money. I don't know. It was really fun though.
It's like a haunted house game show.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
Sounds cool.
Yeah.
I'd be down.
Yeah. So if it,
Down to watch that.
they should whoever's listening, you make sure it streams somewhere.
Yeah, comment on this and
Yeah.
tell us where to
Tell
find
us
it.
where it will.
Yeah.
Because I'll
review it
forget
or
in
something.
about 4 minutes.
Yep.
Yeah. So those are my plugs.
Cool.
Plug
Yeah.
away.
Thanks for all the plugs.
Yeah. Well, happy Halloween, everyone.
Yeah, happy
Yeah.
Halloween, happy spooky season, and
Spooky
thanks for
season.
listening to this episode of Wax Nostalgic. We'll be back soon, November.
Bye.
Bye.
Wax Nostalgic Podcast was produced and recorded at Black Dove Studios in Denver, Colorado. Audio post-production and engineering by Sam Bagnall. Video production and post-production by Graham Johnstone. IT and social media management by Ryan Kerwin. Check out this and other creative projects by adding to the noise at attnlab.com. That's attnlab.com.